And Jason Clark. Director Matt Reeves. Producer Dylan Clark. Okay, we'll get started. Anka, first question.
This is for Matt. Hi, Matt. I would like to talk to you. You've done apocalyptic movies before, but what was your specific vision for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, it's interesting because to me, even though the movie deals with the viral apocalypse that comes from the end of the last film, the movie is not a post-apocalyptic movie. What it is it's a story that starts in the world of apes. And you see what they've built, and you see this kind of primitive but majestic kingdom, and you see a family, and you see a sort of a way in which they're coming into being. And then they are thinking and wondering in this new creation, are the humans gone? Because it's all from their point of view. And then not too long into the story, they realize that there are still humans, and it becomes a question of survival. And that's what the whole story becomes about, is how can these two populations coexist, and will it lead to violence? And so in that sense, I really don't think it's strictly a post-apocalyptic movie. That's just an aspect of one part. That's what it looks like in the city. But it's really much more about the nature of these two populations and sort of whether or not they can find a way to live together.
Did you study the apes before you took on this project?
Did I study the apes? We spent time with Andy and Terry Notary, who is our movement specialist. He's incredible. They showed me what it is to be an ape. We had a whole training sort of camp where the actors get together, and one of the things that we try to do, because the story is so much about this family of apes in terms of the ape story, one of the things that Andy wanted to do was for us all to get together and do rehearsals in ape character and to create what this sort of world felt like, what articulation was like, language. The thing that was important to me was that the story not jump too far in a certain way from where things were in Rise, because in Rise, when Andy says no in Rise, I think it's so startling, it blew me away, and I think the thing that was exciting to me was watching the apes learn how to speak, watching all that happen, and obviously there's only 3-4 words in the first movie. We wanted this to be somewhere along the continuum toward the '68 movie, where of course they're fully conversant. And so that's really what it's about, and one of the things that we did at the beginning was just spend time exploring exactly that.
Fred.
Yes. Hi, for Kerry Russell. Now that you've done Mission Impossible and The Americans, were you ready to have a full-on action heroine role in the Ape Revolution?
Am I a full action hero in this?
Yes, right.
Absolutely. Very Laura Croft. No.
Very. Yeah. That's so what Matt does, Laura Croft.
What she is what we try to do is to tell a story about all of these characters in a way that, even though there's grand action in the story, and she does have to do some grand action in the film, it's really about the thing that was exciting for us about it, the thing that blows me away about the first movie and why I was so excited to do the movie and work with Andy, was that it's really about character. And the reason that Jason is here, and the reason that Carrie's here, is because we wanted characters who had the level of depth that Andy brought to the first film. And so, she brings some action, but really she's here because she brings a lot of character and
I
depth.
climbed that ladder down fast. I was fast, wasn't I?
Pretty fast, yeah.
Pretty fast. I wasn't that fast. But no, it is what Matt said. I mean, it's more of an emotional story, I feel.
Can you talk about how emotional the story gets for your character then?
To me, it's really a story of survival, is where I'm coming at it from. And the thing I sort of was reading a little bit about before I started was kind of more this woman, this war journalist, like someone who's been through war and has lost a lot of people. And I think that's sort of where my character is. You know, you've lost so many people that you love and they're dear to you, and then you're just trying to create an existence from that, at that place, and then trying to survive. And I think that's the great thing about the ape community as well. They're just trying to do the same. And that's what the story needs.
Thank you. Ali from Empire.
Hi there. This is just a general question about whether we'll see overt references to previous Apes films, or will it be trying to forge its own path?
Well, let's put it this way. We don't do it in a sort of winking way. There is a reference to, first of all, the franchise is something that, as a kid, I was obsessed with. I wanted to be an ape. I mean, we all love those movies so much. But what was done so brilliantly, what they did in Rise, was to take it and you know, they call it a reboot, a reinvention. I always wanted to be a gorilla when I watched the first movie. And what was amazing about what Andy did and Weta did and Rupert did and what Dylan did in Rise was that you did become an ape. You became Caesar. You cared about him. You connected to him. And really, the thing that we wanted to carry forward was the emotionality within the grander sort of context of this story that movie had. And you all know, of course, that it leads to the Planet of the Apes, not the Planet of the Humans and the Apes. And so the story is really about where does this fit along that. And so in that way, it really references just the knowledge of what that first film is. And within that, there are sort of certain things within the canon. I guess you might consider them almost commandments and things that it does reference, but we don't really do it in a... they did it very cleverly in the first film. There were a lot of... The Icarus goes up, which is great. I mean, but our references are much more about trying to sort of create a context for the world that Andy leads.
Next question.